Bro, if I knew how bad the economy was gonna be up to date, I wouldn't have been riding no bikes, playing no video games. But I would have bought a house when I was 10. They did a study based on today's economy. Like, what should minimum wage be based on today's economy to make sure an American is comfortable living a day-to-day life, like with the prices, how the prices is up to date. Bro, do you know how much they say you need to make an hour to be comfortable around this motherfucker? $66 fucking dollars an hour. $66 an hour, bro. Who the fuck making that? That ain't even the kicker. You make $66 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. At the end of the month, guess how much you gonna have in whole? 10 bands. Oh no, but don't think you taking the whole 10 bands. You forgot about Uncle Sam. You're going home with 6,500. Maybe a 7-ball if you lucky. Okay, so eliminate all the bills and life expenses from that 6,500. You left even motherfuckers who making $66 an hour after paying all their bills and life expenses at the end of the month. They only gonna be able to save a band or two a month. So regular motherfuckers like me and you was just cooked. We po. We just at this point we just on the internet seeing who can be po better. Who can be best at being po.
All right, this is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3. In verse 1, it says, you should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there that are laboring, enduring the elements, making your body a living sacrifice, trying to sow the elect, making your call and election sure, seeking out your own salvation. As well as you sisters that are learning, listening, applying, being obedient to your husbands. Shalom, shalom. Again, it's your brother Zachariah coming back to you with another lesson here on this Tuesday night, and Lord willing, this be edifying. You know, a little late getting out here. I actually was planning on doing 2 lessons tonight, but you know, I've been having a little bit of trouble breathing. Co-worker, man, this guy, he tends to smoke, and you know, there's no smoking in the building at all. But what he does is our department has an exit door, and he'll go out of that door and he always leaves it cracked open. I don't want to say cracked, it's wide open. And he's letting all that cold air come in because this dude is like naturally hot. It don't matter. It could be below 0 out here as a temperature. And he'll come in. He comes to work wearing freaking sandals. But the dude he's an Edomite, man. And, you know, he just stays, he's just hot all the time. And I'm like, man, it's just... even you got some Edomites that are like, man, it's freezing. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking at this guy like man, are you be drinking or something? Are you on some type of drugs? You know, like, what the hell is wrong with you? But anyways, he's always hot. So he wants to have, he turns fans on and everything and have our department freezing. So I'm over here like, man, and I got a little heater like next to me. Man, I'm all wrapped up, trying to keep from, you know, freezing. But the point is that he goes out there and he smokes his cigarettes, and all that stuff blows right back in. And cigarette smoke, I don't like being around it. You know, there were times, you know, my early years I lived around chain smokers, and that stuff, man, secondhand smoke ain't no good, man, and it mess you up. And I think I'm feeling the effects of that from over those years. And but every time I'm around somebody that smoke like that stuff blows in, I pay for that. I come home after a day's work, man, and it don't help that it's dusty in that warehouse. But then you come home, and you know, you suffer. You're struggling to breathe and everything, and that's what I've been dealing with today. So it just kind of got me all messed up, and I was like, man. And then putting this lesson together, it was, you know, trying to get my precepts. And there's several clips and spots that I want to jump to. So I'm going to be jumping from spot to spot, you know, getting out these clips and things. So that also took a little time putting together, you know. So, but anyways, Lord willing, this be an edifying lesson unto you, okay? And as you saw the clip in the beginning, you saw where the brother, I believe he said they did like some kind of survey or something, but they were looking to see like what would be minimum wage, like necessary minimum wage for like 2025. And they did this a while back, seeing like what, like in 2025, what would you need to live comfortably, you know, out here in Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, which they came up with a number, and the number was like 60 what was it, like $66 an hour or $60 an hour, something like that. But in the 60s, I think it's like $66 an hour. And Jake's like, who in the hell is making that? You know? But it's saying that you have to make that to live comfortably, which we know that, hey, this is not our rest. You know, those that are in this faith and this truth, we know it's not our rest. The elders I learned from, one of the things, one of the elders have said, and he said this a while back, but it's stuck with me. And he said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, okay? We're not here to live it up and stuff like that, because some people have made this their rest. This is the end all be all. That's why they'll go out here and they're living it up. You know, like, you got some, they wake up, they know they're Israel, but they going about living it up. You know, they traveling the world and every time you look up, they're on some kind of vacation, you know. But that type of spirit, meaning that they're not measuring the times. They're not looking at, what's happening as far as like the prophecies being fulfilled and stuff. So they're going without a care, and they're going to get caught up in all this, you know. And so you can only blame who they learn from, you know, because whoever they're learning from obviously is not telling them, or maybe they are being told and they're just not hearkening, you know. They just, the spirit on them, I'm an Israelite and that's good enough. And that's like, no, you're supposed to be measuring the times. And this ain't really a good time to be traveling the world, living it up. You know, I'm just going here to vacation. You know, we're going to get the world. We're going to have the world. We're going to be able to travel and see the uttermost parts, you know, which makes me wonder if some of them people, that are doing that, are they of the elect? Okay. But again, enough of that. But this is 2 Timothy 3:1, and it says, you should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. Okay. And we're gonna be in some very difficult times, because one thing is, like, he's saying that $66 an hour, nobody's really making that, and yeah, there might be some. My mom's ex-husband that she was married to, he was a software engineer, and this guy, man, he made or he was making, I don't know what he's making now, but at that time he was making like $100 an hour, because software engineering is you make good money doing that. They actually, the U.S. military wanted him to go over to the Middle East, one of them countries where they're, I want to say Afghanistan or something. It was one of them, but they wanted him to go over there and do some software engineering for them, and they were going to pay him $1 million per year. So he said he was thinking about going over there for like 2-3 years, and because and then he said he'll retire, but he decided not to go, and he just stayed here. Because, I guess he was thinking like, man, I might go there and it's and who knows what might happen. I get stranded, a war could break out, but anyways, he decided not to do it. But he makes good money. He making like I think the last time I did check, he was making like $125 an hour. So he's making like almost like double that. So, he's good. But one of the things about him that intrigued me was the fact that he lived a very simple life. Despite making all that money, he lives a very simple life. He don't go out and like, I gotta have the all the name brand stuff and this and the most expensive car. Like, I'm gonna drive a Ferrari and stuff. He's not that type of person. He ain't flashy, and that's good. All right, that's very good. But he does make good money. All right, but not everybody is making that kind of money, for the most part. A lot of people are not making that. Some around here, they thinking, maybe $20 an hour is good money. They look at that as good money, but everything is so high right now. Even with you making that kind of money, it's still a struggle. All right, the book of Revelations, the sixth chapter, talks about how things will be, the prices will go up, especially highlighting food, but, not just food, you're looking at, your utilities, gas, rent, everything. Okay. So it's saying that making about $66 an hour, you would be pretty much good. All right. But that's not the case. In Babylon the Great, because, hey, this place, no matter, even making that now, this place is cooked. All right. But I got difficult times meaning. Okay, it says difficult times refers to a period of hardship or struggle. Okay, and these are the times we're in. It says which can be personal, look, financial. That's why I said it can also refer to financial hardships, or emotional. It can also have a slang meaning for a long prison sentence, hard time, or can be used in the idiom to give someone a hard time, meaning to annoy or harass someone. Hey, well, we're being annoyed and harassed by Esau Edom, who is the wicked. Okay. He hasn't set this up for you to live it up and be good. He gives you that illusion, like you might make a little something, you go on a vacation and this and that. But underneath all that, this place is decaying. Okay, Babylon the Great. You know, it's not healed, as the book of Jeremiah tells you. It's not healed and for our people truly. They need to forsake this place, man. All right, y'all. So Salakia for that. I was trying to find the post. Anyways, it says currency stronger than the US dollar. So this is another sign of this place being a decline, because for one thing is that Babylon the Great, you know, used to be, you know, the dollar was strong, their currency, this nation was as a whole, but they're being brought down to a very low place. All right, which keep that in mind. But it's saying currencies stronger than the US dollar. And look, you got the Kuwaiti, which is Kuwait, all right, dinar, all right, Bahraini, all right, the Omani dinar, the Jordanian, all right, the British pound, the Cayman dollar, the Swiss franc, and the euro, all right. And then I saw something where it looked like now China has took the first place over US dollar, looking, you know, as the top currency of trade. All right. So that's another thing there, which I might go back and talk about that in probably my highways this weekend, Lord willing, you know, but just showing you that the dollar, man, is waxing worse and worse. And this is on its way into a economic collapse. All right. Which, you know, that's what brothers have been speaking about a lot lately. I was watching a Brothers Highways earlier, and he was going into it a little bit, you know, talking about the stocks and stuff like that, and saying that, you know, it's not looking good for Babylon the Great. But just showing you this right here as, you know, all these different currencies that are looking more stronger than the US dollar. All right. But that's part of this place waxing worse and worse. And a lot of our people, they're not looking at these things. They're not, you know, thinking about this, you know. But that's why the men of the Lord are set up. Okay, because as I said, we are watchmen and we tap into these things, you know, and we shed light on it. Okay, I want to go here to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 7. All right, because it says here, it says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee will persecuted thee. Okay, so the thing about it is that there were curses that were put on us, which I'm going to highlight a specific curse that was put on us. But that curse that I'm about to go into, I'm showing you here that it's being put on our enemy, especially Esau Edom, you know. Okay, like I said, he's in a high place right now because he's in what? Rulership. All right, but he is being brought low. All right, and that's why he's moving the way he's moving. Okay, he knows, like, hey, he's losing his power, he's losing his rulership. Okay, that time is dwindling. All right, so that's also why he's coming down with great wrath. This dude, you know, as an Esau Edom, you know, these Edomites, they was been on fire, man. Ever since the beginning of this year, they've been going crazy, you know, making war with everybody, all kinds of stuff. Look what they're doing here in Babylon. They're showing you more and more that they don't really care for the people. Okay. But again, in the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And we know nobody persecuted us way more than Esau Edom has done. Now these other heathen, they got their dirt. They done a lot of stuff on us, and they're gonna have to answer for that too. But Esau Edom is in rulership, and this dude, his whole vibration, man, his thing go, like I said, this is go all the way back into the womb. You know, it's a perpetual hatred that Esau has for Jake, man. All right, but the curses are being put on them which hate us. All right, which this is the curse here, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43, that was put on us. You know, because we were at a high place, but we were brought low, and we're in a low state now. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And now you're looking at their dollar, and you're like, man, now you coming down, and all these other nations and their money, their currency is coming up. Okay? And I'm really highlighting Babylon the Great, this place, because this place has went out. This is the great whore. This is the one that went out throughout the earth, into perdition, with their wine and got everybody drunken off their wine. All right. But again, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Okay. Verse 44 says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And see, now this dude's coming down to where he's his rightful place is to be in the tail. But he's the head right now. That's why he's full of pride and being proud. But he's being brought down because all these other nations are coming up over him. And that's why Esau Edom ain't liking it too much. All right. He's still trying to go out here being that hammer of the whole earth, sorting his authority over these nations. All right. But this is how they look at him. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 10. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? That's how they looking at Babylon. Like, damn, you was the man. Damn, homie. You was the man, homie. But hey, this is Esau Edom. It being brought down low, man. Okay. This is the book of Sirach, all right, chapter 12 and verse 17. It says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. All right. And, so that's another thing with Esau Edom. You thinking that, you're having all these adversities. And like, damn, like, man, why am I going through all this? Well, guess what? You're going to find him there first. He's not here to help you, man, at all. He can't even help himself. This kingdom, is fallen. All right, y'all. So this is another video that I come across. And, this sister, she just giving that look, but she basically is saying homelessness, like basically the U.S. I guess, to fix it, 20 billion. World hunger, look, 40 billion. Free education, 80 billion. But look, you have paid Israel $310 billion. So showing you that they have the money to fix these problems, but yet they're choosing to use that money to go fund Israel, which Israel and all of that is to fund weaponry and all that kind of stuff, because what they're doing is making war with all the different nations over there. Okay. And that's where we're at with it. Okay. So here it is. You're going again, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. You're going through all this and boom, this dude's there because he's the root of the problem. He's the problem. All right. And that's what he does. He causes the problem, but then he tries to come in with a solution. But ultimately, it's not really there to help you. OK. OK, so that's where we're at with it, man. But all this, could be solved. They have the money to solve it, but yet they're choosing to use the money for other nefarious purposes, man. Because like the Bible says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Okay, this man's got war in his heart. So this is why, they're doing what they're doing. All right. And that's why she got that look on her face. Esau Edom, is not here to help you. He's not here to do all these things, like, oh man, we're going to do this. That's why whenever the whole election thing, it's a joke. The Bible tells us not to even be voting for real. They don't say the word vote, but we don't choose a king to rule over us that is not of our own people. Okay. And clearly these so-called presidents are not our people, but they try to tell you. That's why they push the vibration of we're all one people. We're this, they're not working for you, man. All right. They're not your people. And they don't serve your best interests. So this is it. Hey, this is the reality. It's all about Israel. That's why you got articles like this, okay? And it says it's humiliating. All right, Tucker Carlson rages over Netanyahu controlling U.S. and Trump. Yeah, he's been saying it, and there's others that are saying it too, that Netanyahu and them are really controlling the U.S. Okay, so and it can make sense. Look at all the benefits and stuff that's being stripped away from the people. Okay, and you can see the same motives that they're having over there and what they're doing to the people of Gaza. We kept telling you, whatever you see happening over there, guess what? It's coming here, coming to a city near you, here in Babylon the Great, man. And look at all the stuff that's happening now, and people are going to start feeling. And this is just the beginning. All right, you know, you're going to really find out those people they're not the people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. They are the synagogue of Satan, as we've been telling you. All right, the Bible tells you they are the synagogue of Satan, but people have been thinking, you know, oh, they're the people. You can't say nothing about them. All right, okay, you know, if you say so. But this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, as for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Because see, Babylon the Great, like I said, it does make sense. You know, if they're sending all this money over there to them, okay. Meanwhile, they're neglecting all the issues here. They're always going into this other countries and talking about, oh, they got these issues. They're doing this, they're doing that. You know, they have Nicki Minaj on the platform now talking about, and they trying to use her to speak out, talking about, oh, there's Christians and stuff being slaughtered over there in Nigeria. We need to go over there. And I'm telling you, it's probably something bigger and deeper than what we're being told is happening over there. But they're going over there talking about, and Trump was talking about we go in there guns a-blazing because that's the nature of Esau, Edom. All right. But one of the things is a lot of these nations are waking up, and maybe, you know, hey, people are waking up there and see now they got to go in there and try to upset their authority again because they're waking up. They're no longer, like, Christianity ain't working on the people no more. And I don't know if it was that country or not, but I know it was an African country over there, and they had some missionaries coming over from over here in Babylon. I forget where I heard this story from, but what happened was the villagers, you know, like, you know how those missionaries come in over and they trying to give you Jesus and all that, and they want to have you drunk off that Jesus wine. Well, some of them villagers, hey, when these people were there, they were keeping an eye. You know, they watching them. Okay, y'all here, y'all, you know, in our land and stuff. But that don't mean they just letting you run around scot free and stuff. But the villagers, they caught some of them so-called missionaries, them Edomite missionaries, pouring like some poison into their drinking, you know, like their drinking water. All right, like the streams, you know, they go collect their water and stuff like that. They was lacing their water, man, with like some kind of poison or something. And I forget what country it was over there where I heard this, but you know, this was a while back. But that's the kind of stuff that they be doing. All right, and then all of a sudden you getting sick and stuff. And it's because they're doing that. Like I said, they coming over there in the name of, like, oh, we're in the name of Jesus, we're here to help. But they're devils, man. Okay? And them Africans caught them doing that, man. So, hey, man, never trust thy enemy. But again, Lamentations 4 and 17 says, as for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. All right.
So now they want us to pay 50-year mortgages. So by the time you even think about paying off your house, you're either dead or broke. They're taking money away from healthcare, and when they want to give you a punk-ass $2,000, and you can figure out your own healthcare. But the idiots are going to just spend it and give it back to the rich people. That's why he's not giving it to the rich people, because you're already going to give it to the rich people. Right? Wasn't we supposed to get $5,000 from Doge? Yeah. That. If you don't know finances, you don't know money, these are clear-cut signs of money laundering. These are clear-cut signs of theft, and now they need to float the money another way. These are clear-cut signs of creating financial prisoners who can never get out of debt. To the point that their kids, and kids will never get out of debt. For example, I haven't raised my tenant's rent in 3 years, right? The last time I raised it is when the taxes actually went up. Some people's landlord raises their rent every single year and tells them because the economy, and that's a damn lie. They literally end up using the money for something else and just increase the price of the money on their tenants. That's what they do. And the sad part is his supporters actually think that these things are benefiting us.
All right, another video, and you know, as you heard, and basically, you know, Jake is saying they stole the money now, charging American citizens. Says, I will never forgive the people who voted for this. And like I said, you know, the Bible, you know, yeah, that voting stuff just don't work. All right. Anyways, we're not even supposed to be voting, but it says paying 50-year mortgages in 2000 stimulus checks. Yeah, because, and then from what I was reading, I don't know, it could change or whatever. I don't know if it was official, but they're saying that it's looking like if it does happen, because they've been talking a lot, you know, but they're saying that you won't even receive those until sometime around the middle of 2026. People are struggling now. You know, it reminds me of that meme, like whenever they call you back for a job and it's like, it's too late, I'm homeless now. You know, that's basically what they're looking like. You're going to try to send that money out and it's too late, you know, which Esau Edom is purposely, strategically crippling the whole structure out here. Anyways, you know, you got, they're like eliminating the middle class. You're either going to be rich or poor. And the middle class is feeling it. Now, poor people, hey, we're already poor. We're like, man, it is what it is, you know. But you're either going to be rich or poor, all right? And don't think just because you're rich, you're going to be good. Because, hey, when it comes down to this MOTB, like the scriptures tell you, hey, he says, whether you rich or poor, free or bond, you know, all that, you know, you're going to receive a mark, all right, in your forehead or in your hand, all right? But, yeah, it says they stole the money now, all right, which, hey, he's the thief, all right? The scripture says the thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. All right. So that's Esau Edom to a T. This is the book of Psalms 118 and verse 8. It says, it is better to trust in the Lord Yahweh, all right, than to put confidence in man. So don't put your trust and your stock in this man. Don't put your hope, your trust, and your stock into Babylon the Great. Like I said earlier, the book of Jeremiah tells you this place is not healed, man. All right. So you should forsake her. All right. You know, this is not our rest. All right. Now, we have to go out. Of course, we get our daily bread, but you got to keep it simple, man. You got to live a very simple life. And that's one of the things I do. And that's and it keeps everything smooth. But when you out here, you just trying to live it up and keep up with the Joneses, you know, that's not a good place to be in, you know. It's like people be on social media stunting, you know, oh, I'm here, I'm there, I'm traveling here, I'm doing this and doing that, you know, trying to look good for the gram instead of just, you know, really we should be, you know, turning back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, and staying out of sight and out of mind. And that's me, you know, I keep it very, very simple. All right. And then, like I said, you'll be all right. But again, it says it is better to trust in the Lord Yahweh, all right, than to put confidence in men. All right. Because you'll be let down every time. This is Isaiah 30. Starting at verse 1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, it says, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. In verse 3, it says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So it's going to be your shame and your confusion, putting your trust in your stock into Babylon the Great. You know, a land that cannot save you, or in a nation that cannot save you, you know, it's not the end all be all. You know, if you're in the right spirit, you're going to be looking for a new heaven and a new earth. OK, and that's where we're at with it. If anything, we pray and hope every day for this place to collapse. All right. Their money is done for too, man. This is James 5, starting at verse 1. It says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right. Verse 2, it says, your riches are corrupted, all right, and your garments of moth-eaten. All right. And verse 3, it says, your gold and silver is cankered, all right. Your money, pretty much, your money is no good. And the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days, okay? They got it all by thievery, all right? It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them have reaped and are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. All right. And that's it. So with that, all right, Isaiah 47:1. Okay. Because like I said, the money's not good. This nation as a whole is not good. Everything's not looking good. They're in so much debt. You know, the people are struggling, make ends meet. You're seeing more and more homeless. The job situation is bad. And then the ones that are working, you know, we don't know if you can go in the next day and they telling you, hey, you're laid off and all that. You never know, you know. But there's more unemployed than it is jobs. Okay, so it's not looking good, man, for Babylon the Great. Everything is still up. You know, food is still expensive. Okay, and hell, the food ain't even all that great, you know. But this is Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Because this place is being brought low, man. Like I said, they're in a high place, but they're being brought low. And this is a reason right here. This is the book of Sirach 10 and verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's basically, it lines up with 2 Ezra 6 and 9. All right, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. It's going from Esau to Jacob. Jacob got next. All right, but it says because of unrighteous dealings, all right, injuries and riches got by deceit. And that's Esau, Edom. He's gotten everything by lies, deceit, and falsehood, and ultimately by using his sword. Okay, he would get the best places and everything by way of the sword. All right, but it's moving over to Jacob. All right, Jacob got next. So, you know, like I said, we got next. So that you should not be in a panic or a worry. Put your trust and your stock into Yahweh Shem Yahushua and you'll be all right. You know, but you got to just live a simple life. Don't go out here trying to live it up and all that. You know, just, hey, get your daily bread. That was one thing that my elders taught me. You know, go out and get your daily bread, you know. But keep it simple and you'll be all right, man. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, starting at verse 19. I'll go ahead and close it out with this. And I pray this has been edifying. You know, Salakia, I hope it didn't sound like I was just all over the place. But, you know, there was certain clips and things that I was wanting to grab for this lesson and just wanting to make sure, you know, I have my precepts. There was some other precepts I think that could came to mind as well. But, you know, just all about just trying to edify the people. And I'm kind of upset because I wanted to do 2 lessons, but I'm still kind of feeling all choked up. Like y'all just don't know, man. That cigarette smoke stuff, man, at work, man, it just be messing with me. But I'll be all right. But Matthew 6, starting at verse 19, it says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Okay? Because see, hey, the thief, man, Esau, Edom. But it says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. They can't get to the heavenly realm. All right? For where your treasures is, there will your heart be also. And, you know, when people are all about that money and I got to do this and do that, you know, you're just showing more and more where your heart is. Your heart is in Babylon the Great, you know, and a fallen empire, a fallen kingdom. All right? That the Heavenly Father has his eyes set upon and said that he would destroy it from off the face of the earth. But it says saving that he would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. And that's going to be the remnant and the elect. And Lord willing, that be us, you know, that are tuning in and trying to make our call and election sure in this wicked ass kingdom. So with that, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise unto Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Wakakodash. Double honors unto the elders of the nation of Israel. And shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. And to the next one, shalom.